Hey guys, it's Danny. Today for our little show and tell, I want to spotlight a little bit one of my absolute favorite types of intergeneric orchids, and these are the Brassavola hybrids. Brassavolas are a genus which are very close to Cattleyas. I think they are considered to be in the Cattleya alliance, and they are compatible with Cattleyas and other types of orchids in this alliance when it comes to hybridization. While Brassavolas are absolutely wonderful, they have one of the best fragrances in the world in my opinion, and I love them to bits, I'll have to say the hybrids are even better because they have all of the good traits from the Brassavolas plus some color and patterns, which Brassavolas typically don't have. Brassavolas are nighttime fragrant orchids. Their aim is to attract night pollinators, and what better way to stand out in the night than bright colored. So with Brassavolas we don't really have colors, but the hybrids do. So here are a few hybrids that I would like to show you. These are the ones that I have in bloom at the moment, and you can see they're a little bit different. I put these two together because they kind of look more similar, and these two together because they look a little bit more similar. Brassavola hybrids can look a little bit different between them, yes, especially when it comes to the type of Brassavola we have crossed. So let's start with this side. This here is BC U-Tongue Star Big Lip. And if we look on the Orchid Roots website, we can see there is a bit of variation with this hybrid, but in its parentage we have 50% Brassavola nodosa and a lot of other things making up the rest of the 50%. More notably, Cattleya purpurata, which I'm not surprised. It does look a little bit like a purpurata. This is a very good example of how Brassavola nodosa, which is a fairly light colored orchid without any type of pattern, passes on this beautiful cascadey pattern on the lip, which I hope you can see. Now, this is not coming from other orchids, this is coming from the Brassavola nodosa. And there are many other hybrids that showcase this purple lip, which I'm guessing at the time when the hybrids were made, it really shocked the hybridizers. Imagine hybridizing a Brassavola nodosa with another white orchid and getting something that has purple lip. How does that happen? And actually, to my understanding, it's actually the unconspicuous Brassavola nodosa that passes on this gene. Now, this particular hybrid has a massive flower. It is absolutely humongous. This is not a trait of the nodosa, it comes from the other orchids. And furthermore, this particular hybrid did not inherit the Brassavola nodosa fragrance. It actually smells more like the purpurata. That's why I'm not surprised that it was purpurata in its parentage, because it smells kind of sweet and kind of mild during the daytime, and that's how the purpurata smells. And I know because I had a purpurata once, I lost it, I'm gonna get a new one, no worries. But you have to admit, the display is amazing. One thing though that you should know about these hybrids with this type of a lip, especially when it comes from the Brassavola nodosa, is that the color fades in time. It does not last. When this first opened, the color was really intense, but now it's gonna fade to an almost pale or pastel purple. I like this transition, I think it's interesting, but just so you know, the flowers do not remain like this. After a week, you're gonna start to see it fade. You might not like this aspect, so you should know this before you purchase it. I find it really interesting because it changes, it's something new all the time. Right, so let's look at the Brassavola hybrid behind her. Yeah. Isn't this a big lady? Well, this is Brassavola amethyst, and I think I know by heart the parentage of this one. It kind of makes sense. It's Brassavola cucullata, which is my favorite Brassavola, and Cattleya amethystoglossa. Let us double check so that I don't spread lies. You're gonna poke my eyeball, oh my goodness. You have to be very careful with these types of hybrids. No, I was wrong. It is a primary hybrid between the cucullata and the purpurata. I think I got it wrong because it has the name amethyst, so I thought it was amethystoglossa, but no. So this is a cross between the cucullata Brassavola, which, as I was saying, is my personal favorite because it has beautiful, long, and thin petals, even thinner than this. This actually has a lot of purpurata in it because, first of all, the purple lip, it's not actually coming from the cucullata, it's coming from the Cattleya purpurata, and also maybe a little bit of color on the petals here. Cattleya purpurata is a variable species as well. You can have a few, let's say, named cultivars of it, even though it's still a species in cultivation. We did manage to obtain a few variations. You have the semi-alba, the alba, the one that has a lot of purple even on the petals. And I'm guessing that was the one used in this crossing because we have this beautiful purple on the petals as well. And you have to agree, it's just spectacular to look at, isn't it? It's such a wonderful hybrid. Bonus, it is fragrant during nighttime and it does smell like Brassavolas rather than the purpurata, which it's nothing to write home about when it comes to fragrance, I'll be honest with you. So I'm glad it inherited the fragrance of the Brassavola. Right, so these two kind of similar looking flowers, right? Big, bold, showy flowers. Well, Brassavolas can actually produce hybrids with tinier flowers as well. And let's take this one for example. I included this one in so many videos. Okay, the tag is stuck there, I don't want to break the roots. This is one of the most floriferous Cattleya type orchids that I have, and the flowers can last a lot. This is Brassavola Golden Peacock, and I will have to see about the parentage because it's a complex hybrid. I know it's the nodosa being used. Okay, it has been reclassified as Procatavola, and the parents are, Prostachia vitellina 50%, beautiful orchid, I'm looking for it, Cattleya milleri 25%, and Brassavola nodosa 25%. So the heritage of Brassavola nodosa is a little tinier in this instance, but it doesn't mean it's not there because the flower shape is that of the Brassavola. It looks a little bit like the former Laelia milleri, currently Cattleya. It does look like that a little bit, but I still see that Brassavola. And furthermore, do you see this little pattern on the lip? Again, that comes from the Brassavola, not the others. I have some doubts now. The bit about the Brassavola passing on the gene of a spotted lip, I heard it in a webinar, but now come to think about it, was it just the spots that were transmitted or the purple as well? I might have given you some false information about this one. I'll correct it. I'll put text on the screen. Be on the lookout for text on the screen because at this point, I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna Google it really fast. See if I find any information because as I was saying, I heard it in a webinar and I don't have access to that webinar anymore because I'm not subscribed to that service anymore. All right, I don't find a whole lot of information. So until further notice, let's just refer to the spots. So the Brassavola can create a spotted pattern, a spottern on the lip. Not sure about the purpleness, but the spotted pattern comes from the Brassavola. It does not show on the species itself. It's a recessive gene, but its hybrids, many of them actually show it. So these spots on the lip that you see, they're not coming from the other two hybrids, they're coming from the Brassavola. And sometimes when the stars align, it has a little bit of a fragrance. This is not a super fragrant orchid. I would not call it very fragrant at all, but sometimes early morning I can detect a faint Brassavola type of fragrance. This one that we have here, this is a good one. This is Brassocatanthe Gyrac Finch, and this one actually has some very complex genes, but 25% is the Brassavola nodosa. Now this one is quite unique in the sense that when it first opens, it's a really nice purple color. Mine is a little bit more pink now, but when it first opens, like the first day, it is very, very dark purple, and then it fades into an almost yellow color. So it goes through this amazing transformation within a week or two after it opens. You still have time to enjoy it like this purple, but then it will fade away to yellow, but it's not gonna be like a complete fade. It's gonna be a nice pastel-y yellow that I personally like. Bonus, it is also fragrant during nighttime, so it did get that fragrance from the Brassavola, and I find it very interesting. I do actually have quite a few Brassavola hybrids that I'm waiting to see in bloom, some of them for the first time. Generally speaking, Depending on the hybrid, they're quite easy to grow and rebloom and quite rewarding because they tend to bloom multiple times a year, they tend to grow multiple growths. The warmer your climate or environment is, the more often they will bloom as well. One thing I will say is that they do enjoy bright light, just like Cattleyas, and if you don't give them a lot of bright light, flowering will not be incredible. So I need to put these two in brighter light. I have them like on top of my shelves in shade. I'm surprised they bloomed. I really didn't have any space for them because they're big, but now I will hang them on my southern side where they get south light. Here in the northern hemisphere it's the most intense light, so I'm hoping they will do better from now, bloom wise. Vegetatively, you're still gonna poke my eye. Vegetatively, they are doing great, and even though they take just typical Cattleya care and are easy to grow in a home, I would try to give them as much light as possible, as much warmth as possible. Yeah, just typical Cattleya care. Alrighty, so with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me today and learning about these wonderful hybrids. Let me know down below in the comments, do you have a favorite Brassavola hybrid? If you do, which one is it? Because I'm always up for new hybrids. I am MissOrchidGirl. I said it even though it's Brassavola. They're in the Cattleya family, all of them, even me, I'm in the Cattleya family as well. So I'm always on the lookout for new and exciting Cattleyas, and the Brassavola hybrids are one of my favorites. So I always want recommendations for hybrids. Right, so with that said, thank you so much for watching again, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!